Right, put that up, Chris. Thank you very much for your help this week with getting this on the road. Thank you to my brother Caesar, who's also stood, and thank you to Damo for doing all the pod. And again, thank you to each and everyone who's turned up today. It's really important that we cover this. For the first time, I'm going to speak to you about my story. This is not something I've ever done. I've typed about it, I've put the story together, but today I'm going to speak to you from a personal level. As a child, the only thing I wanted to do was serve my country as a soldier. I wanted to, from the ages of 7, 8, I was army man, I wanted to be in the army, I was abused in young cadets. I was abused in young cadets, and that stopped me from ever serving my country. It put me off on life. They did that to me, but the problem we've got is the institutional abuse in the UK has been rife. Many of you here will know who's been in certain places like a prune school or whatever, you know. Children's homes. I was in children's homes as a youngster. It was right, exactly to everybody, and it's still going on today. And you see in the news of people getting collared from 15 years ago. The only reason they're getting collared from 15 years ago is because people like you, people like me, are making these stats like that here today. That's the only reason. The only reason why so many grooming gangs find themselves in court is because of people like you and like me who willing to stand here and face this issue because others are too frightened to do so. Especially this guy over here, Andy Burnham. Andy Burnham, like I said, I don't think he can hear you guys. Yeah. So, I first started this back in 2018, no, a bit earlier than that, wasn't it? About 2012. Regarding NOV School, which is a Rochdale school, who was ran, the school governor was one of Cyril Smith. Cyril Smith was a prolific paedophile, abused almost every single boy that ever walked through the door. Many of the boys who he abused turned out to be the lads who I was growing up with in Kirk. These lads, not many of them left, there's only 1 or 2 of them left, because the rest of them took the life. Not one person from NOV School and the hundreds of boys that have been abused has ever been convicted because of the likes of Andy Burnham, because of the likes of Tony Lloyd, because of the likes of the others in Westminster, like Gordon Brown, Jackie Smith, Keir Starr. Yeah. So now, this is why we've got to continue this. And what we're going to be doing is, from the start of next year, because we're going to have a Christmas, we're going to have a break, we're going to go and spend time with our families. But after Christmas, I promise you, this movement is going on the road, and it's going to hit every single town in the UK. We've got to stop it. We've got to, if everyone who's here today brings a new friend to them, every time these numbers will grow. We have to make a stand, no one's going to make it for us. The state has shown you it's going to fail your children no matter what, because votes are more important. We don't agree with that. Our children are the most important things to all of us, am I right? Yes! So I'm going to introduce a speaker. So, I'm losing myself. Back in many years ago, 7 years ago, there was a story that was in the mainstream news. Mainstream news of Ellie Williams in Barrow. Now, yeah, the problem with that was Ellie Williams wasn't the only survivor in Barrow, and because of the Ellie Williams case, none of the survivors in Barrow got justice. I went and stood with this man and the other families of the other children in Barrow, and he's here to talk to you again today. He's all the way from Barrow, come with his team. Give him a big warm welcome, Jason.
In 2018, my little 11-year-old boy then came to see me to tell me about a bad man in an ice cream van driving around our local community. I didn't believe him. I told him that these people had to be DBS checks and they were thoroughly checked by the council. What in fact happened was, this man was a bad man. He was trading on a loophole in the law, which meant that they were trading without DBS checks, without the usual licences, and they were just trading as a delivery service. The man driving the ice cream van was a child groomer. 7 years later, 7 years after we discovered it, we've been proven to be right. He was sentenced to 28 years, along with his 2 brothers who were all given life sentences. Dean Holden, the Chief Inspector for Cumbria Police, he stood on the top of Barrow Police Station in 2020 and said that there was no grooming gang in Barrow. He knew this to be a lie, because there was in fact a grooming gang active in 2018. The charges these guys were done for were charges from 2010. So for 8 years later they were still driving around in ice cream vans. The whole community knew there was something wrong and people turned blind eyes. Those blind eyes were turned because nobody wants to admit that there's a problem going on. No one wants to talk about this problem. Everybody here today is willing to talk about the problems. If we all talk about the problem, it doesn't stay a problem, we can all deal with it. But the more we cover it up, the more we keep silent, nothing's going to change. We have to start screaming, guys. Now there's a nice turnout here today, but it's still not enough. This square should be full. There are so many survivors out there. This isn't acceptable. Come on, guys. Like Billy said, if everybody brings one person with them to the next demo, we'll have hundreds of us. And then next time it can be thousands of us, and we can all make a difference as long as we stand together. I'm not going to go on all day because it's quite a long story, but basically these things happen. Poor Ellie Williams in 2020 was found to be telling some lies. There's always truth to these stories. If no one's listening to the truth, then people make things up, don't they? We know that these groomers make girls tell lies. They criminalise them. The police criminalise them. They give them criminal records. They charge them with prostitution. I say that no girl under the age of 16 can consent to sex. How can they be a prostitute? No, it's not acceptable, is it? Right, guys, thank you. I'm not sure who's speaking next, but back to the amazing Billy. He's been a rock for the last 7 years for us. Finally, we seem to be getting some light and we're getting some justice. Let's hope we all keep shouting and keep shouting loud. Thank you.
Right, guys, I'm going to go a little bit deep for you now, guys. I get a trigger warning for anyone in the crowd who's a survivor like myself, but this is stuff that needs to be said. I want to talk about Andy Burnham again. I want to talk about how he's failed Rochdale, how he's failed Great Manchester, and how if he becomes a Labour Party leader, how he'll fail in the same way. Right, ICTA inquiry, the independent inquiry into child sexual abuse, covered child abuse in institutions right across the kingdom. It came to Rochdale to cover NOV and Cambridge House, although there was also Foxholes and Smith Street. They didn't cover them, they just got brought up in the investigation into NOV. What they tried to say there is, everybody knew about Earl, but no one did anything because of the power which he held. That's unacceptable. Andy Burnham had that information through the ICTA inquiry and chose not to hold one person accountable. We've been campaigning for that to be overturned since 2018. It's still the same today, no one's been held to account. Then we have Operation Augusta. Operation Augusta showed us with the inquiry in the review into Operation Augusta, thousands of children in Rochdale and Greater Manchester were abused and ignored. The evidence showed in this report, if you haven't read it, it's there to read, guys. Go and read how disgusting our services are, what's supposed to protect children. And again, he had the information on his desk then he went again with Operation Span. And again, it highlighted the massive failures by all the agencies involved in which appear to protect our children. They failed again. Again, no accountability followed. On the 16th of December last year, Andy Burnham released a police statement where he said none of the senior officers will face any action due to the failures of grooming gangs and child abuse in the borough, in the Greater Manchester. So that guy, a week before Christmas, told no survivors, we've got no justice coming. This is the man that says he's going to lead our country. He's not fit to lead nothing. He's not fit for purpose, and we must unelect him at every opportunity we can, along with his Labour cronies. We've got to get him out. It's really important, guys, because this will not be, Labour will not hold a fair and independent inquiry. I'll tell you why it won't, because it's complicit in the abuse of our children.
Yes.
We move on times now and we think we're at the end and they've come and we're all up. So Operation Lytton has 116 men over the last 18 months in court on trial for abusing children. There's a trial in January that finished, not January, October that finished, and 174 years was handed out to couples who were found guilty at Mitchell Street Crown Court. 174 years. Guys, that's a change, that's different, that's not what we normally see, because these are real sentences at last. But I'll tell you why they're real sentences. because you're studying today and other days like today, willing to make a stand, and they now know this can't go away because you're not going to let it. And thank you for that. As a survivor, thank you. Operation Excel is now in force in Rochdale. Operation Excel is a new operation into gangs. Already had 4 charged in Rochdale, only started 3 weeks ago, so the 4 men also been charged. It's never ending. We can't let it end. We can't let it go silent like it was before. We can't let it not be talked about in the media like before, because again, because of you guys standing here with me today, we're not going to let it. I want to talk about Asha Mohammed. Mohammed was the second grooming gang member who was convicted in Rochdale. He's just re-offended. It's not in the news. They won't tell you about it. They won't tell you. They let him out after raping children the first time. They let him out after raping children a second time. He's now back in for doing it for a 3rd time. And this is what I'm saying to you. Your children are not safe. You are the last line to defend for your children. And every one of you. You can't trust the state. They're not even safe at school. They're not even safe at school. It's down to each and every one of us to make a stand, whether it's outside on the street, in our homes, wherever, to protect our children. And this is what we've got to start doing going forward. They are our future. We can't let them be destroyed like the last 3 generations through this paedophilia and constant abuse and the constant ignorance by the state, by GMP, by this, by the Labour Party. I speak a lot about the Labour Party. We just had 14 years of Tories, but for in Rochdale it's been a Labour-led council all the way through. The Labour are up to the neck in the abuse of our children, and they know they are. That's why we need to start hitting towns for local independent inquiries, because this national inquiry is never going to happen. There's too many of them up to the neck in it, so it'll never happen. We need to start going town after town after town after town, and we'll pick up the numbers as we go. The numbers will grow, and then we'll take it to the ballot box, and then we'll start taking councils off them. That's when you'll see change, when you start taking the position. That's the only time you'll see change, guys.
Yes!
Yes! Guys, I've got other speakers to come up now. Where's she gone? Where's she gone? My St. Helens friend. St. Helens. Lovely ladies, come all the way from St. Helens, and she's come to speak to you guys today. Please give the lovely lady a nice warm welcome.
Hello everybody, Maxine, I'm from St. Helens. I've come here today because St. Helens was on the J report. Now when the J report was first initialised, St. Helens was picked because it had less than 2% demographic in our area. They actually thought they was going to find no grooming in St. Helens. They were wrong. It's a Labour-run council, and we found a lot of grooming in St. Helens. It was reported in the Liverpool Echo that our town had 55 unregulated children's homes in our area. How does that ever happen in any area where children are being shipped out to all and sundry who can afford a house and just make a lot of money off children? It's always happening in Labour-run councils. David Baines was elected last year in St Helens as an MP, Labour-run MP with Mary River. David Baines, the first thing he did was a supporter of not having the grooming gang inquiry, and he voted against it. He will never ever get into power again, because come next May in the big elections they will all lose their positions, and he will be losing his come 3-4 years time in the general election. I've been having meetings, I've been having protests in St Helens, and we've been getting a lot of people out. We are sick of all the foreign undocumented men in our area. We are sick of the grooming gang that's been covered up.
Yes!
To look back at my grandchildren and say, I was out on the Saturday and Sunday in the rain, in the hail, in the cold, because I wanted to do this for you.
Yes!
Don't only come see the meetings on your own. Bring your friends, bring 2 friends, ask them to bring their friends. It doesn't matter if, like today, we waited for a train. Guess what? It was cancelled. It was cancelled. Now, irrespective if it turns candles, we have to keep coming and growing these numbers in our areas, in our towns and in our cities, so we can look back and say, I was there and I did something about it.
Yes!
That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
One more time, guys.
Yay!
Real, ladies and gentlemen. Come shake hands. So, wrapping up, I mean, this is an open mic. For any survivor here that wants to take this mic, you are more than welcome out. My job is to empower people to speak and give them a platform to be able to speak where else otherwise they've always been kept silent. So whoever you are, you're always welcome to come and speak on my platform. Just give us 1 minute. Before I do that, does anyone know or understand the review by Baroness Casey? Has anyone read it or aware of it? Baroness Casey report, Baroness Casey told us over 4,000 children in the UK have received police cautions for child prostitution. Can we just make it clear? There's no such thing as a child prostitute, it's just child abuse. Plain, simple child abuse. The rhetoric by the state must change. And those 4,000 decision makers should be held to account, because what they did was put them children under the hot light of paedophiles when they should have been protected. 4,000 children given a police caution, and it's Baroness Casey who's told us this. It's just unacceptable. 380 grooming gangs investigated in the United Kingdom in the last 3 years. They don't tell you that on the front page of the BBC. We'll tell you here though, because we're all about the truth and speaking the truth, and that's all I'll ever tell you. I'll never tell you a lie. I'll always tell you the truth, and I want to say this. I'm going to let a few more people speak. I'm going to get down, but I want to just say one last time, thank you very much. I love you all. You are absolute legends. Thank you guys.
Listen, I've got one ambition before I die. I want to see just one person from authority, whether it be Andy Burnham, whether it be the Chief of Police, whether it be a councillor, locked up for covering up child abuse and rape.
Yes!
Just one. Right? Get them locked up. That's what I want to see. And every one of you here is helping to make that happen, right? So let's get on the tour next year. Every one of you here needs to go to every one of these towns we go to, and you need to bring people with you. We need to grow it and grow it and grow it. Grow it, and let's have thousands on the street calling for these people to be locked up.
Yes!
Right, I'm not a survivor, but I share every sting from every team. And a mate of mine, Mark, who's working for Stopping, now works for Angels of Innocence, going to the Labour Party, he stung Ivor Kaplan. If you don't know who Ivor Kaplan is, Ivor Kaplan was the former Veterans Minister. The whole team, the whole lot of Stop before they disbanded, went down to Brighton to sting him. They didn't only get him, he also got his boyfriend, trying to meet a 15-year-old lad. Turned out it was a decoy, the sting went brilliant. If it weren't for these volunteers going out in the wind, rain, the decoys which do a fantastic job. I know Anne, who's here, used to be a decoy. It's unbelievable. We're doing the police's job for them. And we've got to carry on, you've got to share the stings, you've got to carry on fighting. And Burnham, if you can hear us, we ain't going away, we're not the silent majority no more, are we?
No!
Right? And you're bringing in thousands upon thousands of unvetted men. We had the worst terrorist attack on British soil in this city. Right?
Deport! Deport! Deport!
Right?
Yeah, deport! Deport!
So show support for everything, right? Show Billy's support. We'll get out, we'll support Billy with his campaign, we'll support Roger with his campaign. But I'll tell you one thing, do not vote for the mainstream parties. They don't represent us, they never represent us, and they just blame us for all the problems when the problems what they cause. We've got to get them out, vote them out, make your voices heard and get to the ballot box and get rid
It's Dover out!
Get rid of the framing.
It's
I mean,
Dover out!
that building there, and in Westminster, and in every town all up and down the country, because they don't represent us, they don't care about our kids, and they certainly don't care about our security, because if they did, they wouldn't be putting thousands of unvetted fighting age men in hotels. My mate Danny Walker died in the summer in a homeless shelter in Ashton-under-Lyne. He'd had done 2 tours of Afghanistan, seen his mates get blown up on a blue on blue, if you know what a blue on blue is. An American jet blew up the armoured personnel carrier him and his friends were in. He was out on patrol, 6 of them got it. And guess what? He was thrown on a scrap heap by this government in a homeless shelter. But people that come here without any papers, any passports, who claim to be doctors and engineers, we've heard all that, like the Southport attack. He was claimed to be a Welsh choir boy. Stop covering this shit up now. My mate died in a homeless shelter, and we've got thousands of unvetted men in hotels. Where's the justice in that? And where's the justice for our kids?
Guys, and I guess that's it, wrapped up. There's no more speakers, no? No? You want to speak? Yes, sir, you absolutely, anyone's welcome to come and speak. Give us both. And I'm a survivor of sexual abuse myself. I got abused when I was about 5 by a crazy witch that tried to drown me in a Halloween ritual when I was 5. When that happened, everything went wrong in my life. My brother took her side, not my side, because she said that's my mother's friend. How can you say that? At the age of 8, I got abused by an older lad in a block of flats in Kirby, Liverpool. And then from on there, at the age of 10, I got abused in the public toilet in Lime Street, Liverpool. And I got groomed from them from 10 to 22. I was a sex worker, male sex worker, prostitution from man to man. There was a story, Cyril Smith came to me with the chief of police. They were hunting me down in Liverpool years ago, and then I resisted going with them, but they were around looking for young boys in Liverpool. So as you know, they're from Rochdale or Manchester. And I got saved, accepted Jesus as my Lord and Saviour. In Amsterdam, I was working in a brothel called the Blue Boy Club in Holland, and that was run by gangsters and mafia in Amsterdam. So when you're in Amsterdam, if you go in these like brothels, they control you, they take your passports off you, and then you get on the wrong side. And they get on the wrong side of them. I've heard stories like where they chop you up and put you in suitcases in Amsterdam and sex workers. And then so I come from there, I got saved in Holland, I pulled away. So when I came back to Liverpool, I got ritual abuse when I was 17 by the Golden Wheel from Southport. They got a hold of me, got into my head. What I didn't realise when they done the sexual ritual abuse in Lisgard, Liverpool, that I joined the occult, and they targeted me from them. When I became a Christian and come back, I started to see these people that abused me in the Christian fellowship, and the guy was called Alan Wheeler. He's a warlock, and then he abused me when I was 17. So when I started seeing these people in Jesus, I thought, what is going on here? I thought, what is going on? You know, I'm coming to fellowship, for prayer and support, and then I started getting rejected from the church because I was saying I got abused and I had all kinds of bad stuff. So when I was going to church, I was getting sort of like going into the church and going in the church asking for help and support, and then was left by myself. So like people have their own sort of fellowship there. I was left by myself. People wouldn't come and talk to me because I said I came from, I wouldn't class myself as gay because I wasn't gay, because I had a girlfriend before all this happened when I was a kid. And then back to me, don't call me Cape Church, walk around with a cross, say Jesus saved, go around London, go to Manchester, I've been outside Parliament, shouting about the people in Africa getting killed by these extreme Muslims and all that, I know it's about. But like, about the child abuse and people getting killed in Nigeria, Sudan, and they stood outside Parliament saying, what the hell are you doing, just killing Christians around the world. Parliament, and like Kim Stark, what's his name, Andy Bear, I went to him 2 years, one of these meetings in Bolton to report what happened to me. I met the chief of police. Just give me 1 sec. Officer, can we have one over here, please?
Come on, sort yourselves out!
Don't rise. Turn and walk away.
What do you think they're doing?
Walk away, guys.
Right now!
Far left scum got just arrested there. Get him gone.
Are you alright, darling? Yeah, I think someone's on. If no talking, he's not I didn't think the groom was
Bloody names! Yeah, you might dirty animal! Animal! Pedo! 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 Look at Greater Manchester Police protecting a paedophile!
Unheard of that, isn't it? This is Manchester.
vile human being.
You for a lot? No.
Me then.
Yeah.
He said to me.
What is it?
He's just a bit I can't fucking get this.
Take him all the way.